Hello, sketchbook heroes and sketchbook warriors. We got this drawing right now. We've got a log cabin, actual log cabin. It looks like it's hard, but it has a lot of detail. That's what so it makes. But it's the shapes and the form very simple forms. So we're gonna break it down for you right now. Let's jump to this. Let's do it. Let's jump, 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 jump. All right, here we go. I'm sharing my screen. I'm hoping I'm sharing the right screen. I'm going to break this down. So I always see the big shape first. There's a lot of shapes that we see. This is probably in here, but the biggest shape is that rectangle, the whole rectangle where everything's at. So if we draw a rectangle, red rectangle, where that is, that kind of blocks everything in. And we can break this down into fourths because there's so much stuff happening. I mean, all these big shapes in here. But yeah, this is a little more complex. So let's break this one down into fourths to help block where things are, because this log cabin is the biggest thing in there. Let's see. Let's draw some lines in here now. Ready? Let's get this line in here. I think I just lost my center, but I think this is it. I'm eyeballing it right in there. And then another one up in here where we're going to get our quadrants in. Let's see. Oh, that was pretty good. And then right in there, get that other one. Here we go. I think it was right about here. Bam. Oh, look at that. This gentleman is right there. And this is the rule of thirds. So this log cabin is in the thirds kind of part right in here. This lower thirds. And probably this is probably the focal point of this whole thing. Well, the cabin and then the secondary focal point. And then all these chickens. Look at all those chickens right in there. All this detail. There's a lot of detail. But once we break it into fourths, you can see how this stuff is a lot simpler, a lot easier to kind of handle. And we're going to sketch it in just doing one thing at a time. So we've got our cabin. We can do with shapes. Let's see. Let's change the color here. Let's change it to, I like this light green. And let's get some shapes. Oops, let's get, some more ovals. This is like an oval shape right in here. I can see this looks like an oval shape. Notice how that kind of flows in there. Even these trees over here, there's we'll probably say like kind of, there we go, like right in there. See, I'm breaking this down into kind of like shapes, these big shapes. Then I got these three trees, which can be kind of like that area right in there. I kind of clump that together with that smoke. And I can see this here too. This branch, how it opens up that there. And it's kind of, I don't know, I can see another V in here, this other V in there. I'm not going to worry about that, but I've got this other big shape right in there too. Look at that. And then all this other little stuff, how it all fits in here. All this little detail. There's a lot of interesting little shapes, and we can spend an hour just drawing the rooster, in which we have. We've drawn roosters here. And then that whole bunch of shapes right in there. All right, let me get rid of all these in here though, all these that we just did. Let's put lines, let's put shapes, because that's what this is. This cabin really is a cube with a spike on it, a spike top. Let's change the color. What color should we do? Let's do a light color. It's light blue. Let's go with pink. It says pink. All right, so we've got, here we go. Oh, this line here, it's pretty much there. It looks like there's a vanishing point up this way. It goes up. This line goes up. It's not horizontal. It does go slightly up. This line here kind of goes up as well. All these lines would probably go to a vanishing point that's way over there. And then you can see everything else in here kind of going up in that direction. Yeah. So this artist knows about perspective. And then on this side, we have this line going straight up and down. Straight up and down. Oh, I was gonna just do the block. I wasn't gonna do that yet, but this is going that way. I was gonna do this block because this is a cube. This is a cube that's back in here, and then this, you don't see it, but this would go back to that vanishing point that way. And then you have this triangle top or tent, like a tent top. All right, so and those are different angles as well. So we got this one. Notice how it goes out. when I see lines, I imagine them continuing. You got to imagine lines continuing. That really helps with drawing too. If you imagine this line continuing, and then this kind of like helps you draw this line in here. Well, like say, okay, this line aims for this way, line aims for over there, and kind of seeing that really helps. And see this, continues here. See, bolt to a vanishing point. Even the top of that roof. All these lines here go back to this vanishing point, which is right there, right about here. This is where the vanishing point is, right in that area off the paper. All right, we got some verticals, other verticals, and this whole other thing here too. There's a taper here as well. It's steeper as it goes out that way. It's not that steep, but notice it's not parallel. If it was parallel, it would be there, but it's not because there's perspective. So it does kind of taper out a little bit. And then these are really close to horizontal. This one's really close to horizontal. There's a slight taper. I think really close to horizontal. I think this one goes up a little bit. Yeah, it does go up because of the side it's on. Bam. All right, let's draw this one. Wow, it looks like it's a lot of work, and it is. But we'll block it in. We'll see how it goes. Let's take this to the chat. 9 of you, 8 hardcore heroes here. Let's see. What are we looking for? We're looking for the chat. There it is. Chat bots. Cabin. Screenshot. There we go. I don't think you need the vanishing point, do you? Oh, I got it. A home in the wilderness. A home indeed. There we go. Let's get drawing. I need to come up with catchphrases. All right, stop sharing. All right, here we go. We're going to draw this out. Let's get a fresh sheet of paper. There we go. All right, so we're breaking in memory of Mr. Ramirez. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. We're going to break this in half. In half. We're breaking our paper in half and fourths. Are we upside down? Let me see. Oh, yes, we are. Bam. There we go. That's better. All right, hardcore heroes. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. I should take requests from you guys when you guys are here, because there are changes happening. That's what it is. It's about progress. Sometimes change is good. Sometimes change is not. But you want change. You want to embrace it. You want to actually make it happen. Yep. All right, so we're breaking it into fourths. So now I'm just blocking everything in. I mean, notice we had a big old oval on this side. Well, that's one. We had another oval. Then we had another oval right in here, right on the other side of the middle. Then we had another little oval right about in here. Another oval. Then we had our cabin right about in here. See, I'm drawing it as a circle like I did originally because I'm just getting the placement of it. And then we've got all kinds of horses and people, like right in here, horses and people. See, right in there. And then we've got that lady, yeah, the mother hen. And then all the hens and stuff. And I can see, I just doing an oval of where all those hens and things are going to be. All right, I'm happy with that. Let's see, almost. Let's get some, there's some logs in here, some logs, some more logs. Got that side of that cabin, and then the whole cabin that kind of goes in there. All right, we're going to start off with the cabin and then everything else. I know this lady's in front of the cabin, so I'm not going to worry too much. All right, so how do we do this? The vertical line first. Okay, so the lady's here. Right next to the lady, right in here, is this vertical line. And it's not, it doesn't go to our middle up here. It's down here in this area. Down here, probably right in there. This is the height of that building. This is probably the closest part of that building to us. This right here, this line right here is everything else goes away from us. Everything else goes away from us. So this is the closest part of the cabin. And there's all kinds of logs, but I'm not worried about those. I am not. So here we go. I know it goes up in here at that angle. I know it's going to end up in here on that side, but we don't have to go all the way. Actually, we don't. It stops before our center. So it's like right in here. I'm not going to worry about all the detail. I'm gonna get rid of a lot of the detail, but this angle is what's important, and it goes up to there. This angle right in there, and these are pretty much vertical. There we go. Yeah, there's a lot of detail. I'm not gonna worry about the detail. Then up in here again up in here in this area, up a little higher because it goes our vanishing points off the page. Right in there. Bam, this angle. Right in there, that's what we want. There's our side of our cabin, right in there. I'm looking at the height and the width, looks pretty good. Let's get that window in there. And the window sides are up and down. And the tops and the bottoms slightly going up. It should be really close to parallel on that one, and this one parallel on that one, the bottom. See, the top and the bottom of this window is going up at an angle. The sides are going up and down. A lot of detail. I'm not worried about it. Now this line, the roof goes above our center line here. It's going above, and it's going about at that angle. That angle. Get that roof. It's pretty long. It goes above our center line here. And then the top, it's coming down. It's coming down that direction. So here we go. It's almost parallel, but it should be coming down a little bit. It should be coming left to right is going up like that. Right up in here to this peak. As it's going down. Slight angle down that way to the left. There we go. It's looking a little bit tall for me in my ratios. It should probably be it's a little off. Slightly off. I'm not gonna worry about it. It should probably be I don't know where it's off, but I'm not gonna worry about it. And it's close enough. And here we go. Down. Wow, that's a good question. Might, huh? I don't know. It does look off. Well, I know it is. I know ratio wise, it's taller than it is wider, and then it should be. That's okay. I'm gonna copy this angle, kind of flip it to over here, and then I'm gonna like pretend. Again, this bottom angle goes up. I'm doing it light because that lady's in the front of it. Goes up, and then this also kind of goes up. And then see here, now we have our cabin. This is really important to make this look solid as it comes back. This angle here, right in there. That looks better. Bringing it down. Right in there. And then we have this other part of this cabin. The door, like right behind the lady. Right in here. The lady's in here. There's that door, and then here we have this. This is also vertical, and this shed part, the shed is coming down this way. And this top of the shed kind of follows the same line right in here, but underneath it, right in there. And then it comes out. This angle is a little steeper. Remember, this one comes out a little steeper. And then we've got the top of that shed right in there. It should kind of go in this same angle. This angle, these angles, 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 angles are kind of going in the same direction. Kind of should be going to a vanishing point. Here we go. Let's do the shed. The shed comes down and out. It does come out slightly. Actually, this line should actually be going to the vanishing point as well. This is the one on the left. This one here, this line here should be going at this angle. This angle here, very similar to that angle here. And then this should be going up as it's coming back slightly. It should actually be closer to this angle here as well. And then down. But there's all kinds of trees and other stuff in front of it. But this is the solid. That's what understanding the structure and then losing the structure. So you have to see the structure first, and then everything else that's on top of it kind of gets rid of it. Like we have the lady that's in here. She's her head's going to be right about there. And then her body. I'm going to do like this bell shape right in there. And you got the little kid that's right next to her, right below that door. There's a little kid. See, I just did 2 little, so the circle for the head, circle for the body. I can zoom in that in, zoom in, you can see that kind of looks like. And then we got a barrel right in here. See all this detail, see all this barrel, there's a barrel right here. It's like a puzzle. You got all these, they got this that big rooster right there, and then you have all the other hens that are next to it. And see, it's off from my drawing. I said this area, but I can see it's going to be more over here, here, and then here. So this is how far off I was. But that's okay. Just get me started. Just to get me started. There's my barrel. This tree that's going to be up in here. There's a tree that's there. On the logs, these logs are all kind of coming in the same direction, angle, actually pretty close to this angle here. That's echoing this angle that where this side is forward. So it's kind of should be kind of coming at that angle, and maybe even getting a little steeper because it's going up to a vanishing point. But if you get it going at that angle, that'd be good for all these logs that are in here. And then this bottom on this side is kind of going up in that direction too. So it's using these two angles to kind of like put it on the plane floor. As there we go. That's all that. Bam, bam. Let's block everything else in. There's a man right here with a gun. All right, here you go. Hey, Joe, what are you doing with that gun in your hand? Caught him messing around with another man. All right, then there's a horse. The horse is going to be here. The horse is going to be here, of course. Right in there. I see the head, the torso, the whole body in the back. See all these little circles? That's it, right about in there. Then the little kid that's right in here. There's another little kid who's like in the water in this lake or pond or ice. I don't know. It's ice, I think. Yeah, the kid's on the ice. On the ice right in here. He's on the ice. There it is. So it's all there. Ta-da! We're done. Nah, just kidding. All right, so it's all blocked in though. That's pretty much blocked in. There is like rocks and stones. There's like right in here. There's some rocks and stones, and then over here, and this is now it's all just the detail. It's all the detail. I'm just gonna block everything in. I already got everything blocked in. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start just sketching stuff in, and it's just sketch. It's nothing like I'm not worried about exactness. So that I'm going to start with this tree here on the right first, and I see it kind of come in and then out right there. So it just kind of swoops and it fits right in there just like that. Ta-da. Now let me zoom in. I don't know. That's that tree there. I can't get it just right. That's probably it right there. This is that oval shape, this tree right here. And then there's that thickness to that. See how it waves, slight little wave, maybe a little bit of a taper as it gets wider as it comes down, and then gets even wider as it zooms out into its roots. And then a little bit of a shade because of the root right in there. And then on this side, all this is shaded. I'm already doing the shading, but it's halfway through this thing. The light's coming from the left. There's snow, and it gets darker on this side, so it's really dark on this left side, and then it shades up as it comes here. And this is form. This is form. This is a cylinder, a bent cylinder, a twisted cylinder. Twisted Cylinder, the band. Twisted Cylinder. Twisted Sister. Twister. All right, so it does curve up. This, see how that did that? This does curve up that way. And it's going back and forth. It's going back and forth, all these branches. I'm trying to see it. This almost like backwards S curve. It kind of goes up there. That's the tip of it as it comes down. It gets wider. Wider, and then it attaches itself down here. See how that is? From up there, down here, and then all kinds of branches, all kinds of detail. I'm trying to see the big stuff first. See this big stuff, and then everything else kind of just fits inside it. See it? This is the main branch, and then you have this other branch, and it branches off into all this other little texture, but I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just worried about these bigger branches and these other branches. And this is all the detail and stuff that kind of would throw most people off. Yeah, see, there's other trees in the background. I'm not worried about those, but there's four of them. Let's see, one, two, three, four. See right in there. Again, I'm just doing four lines. They're like little pine trees back here, and they're lighter too. So I can just like scribble them in. See, just scribble them in like little pine trees, opening them up. Bam, right in there. And then here, this other tree comes up right in here, underlaps. It's behind as it comes up, and then flows up in there. See that whole darkness of this tree. The hard part here is getting these lines to be parallel and taper and twist. So there's several things happening. It's twisting like an S shape. Then it's tapering, which means it's thinner at the top, and as it comes down, it gets a little bit wider, and it twists. And then what else is happening? All kinds of stuff. I don't know. I just mentioned it. And then it gets darker on the right as you shade it. So if it's shaded on the right. See, and this is one solid shape. One solid shape. Bam. And maybe a little bit of shading in the background, little scribbles, because it's all just scribbles. See, this is the big shapes. This is the meat of the thing. Everything else just kind of like scribbles in there, and all these branches and all this stuff. Here's another branch coming up that way. And then if I wanted to, here, this other branch that kind of comes up in here and twists and then goes into this branch right here. It's probably a secondary branch that looks at that character. This has really a lot of character, the way it twists over and then twists over again. I mean, this is, yeah, I can break this down, what's happening here, but yeah, we don't have time. Unless you want me to. You're struggling with something. Especially if you're struggling too much, it's good to struggle. It's try to like, oh, I'm trying to get this, I'm trying to get that. This is what I'm focusing on. And you just go for it and keep at it. And you'll see progress. You'll see progression. You see yourself improve. See, I'm just drawing all these little branches now. It's just like scribbles. It's just almost like scribbling them in. I don't know how else to say, just scribbling it in, kind of like getting the feel of the little branches up in here as part of this tree. Same thing though, there's the secondary branches and then the small tertiary ones. Oh, this one here, there's a Y. There's a Y up in here. Y. Let's see, just secondary branch and then tertiary little branches off of it. Secondary branch, shade it in, make it solid shape. There we go. It's not looking too shabby. Then we've got all these trees back here. Okay, so I've got this branch. There's this one that kind of follows this and kind of comes down. Actually, it's on the inside of that. No, it's okay. We'll just use that. I know there's gonna be all kinds of trees in here too. See, I'm just scribbling them in. I'm doing little circles, but then I'm trying to hide the circles as well. I'm trying to shade them as shapes. And then there's all kinds of like trunks. I'm a little bit thicker. But it's lighter. I'm not going dark as I am over here. Over here, this is dark, and this is solid. Probably even go darker. See, I'm using value as I'm shading. So this is lighter. This is darker over here. And this one's a little bit darker, but not as dark as this tree. There's two trees right in here. One going up this way, and then it opens up. Yeah, and then back there. Then there's trying to see the shapes. There's like these shapes. There's like I'm drawing them as circles right now, but I wouldn't have done that. I would see them as circles, but then just get that texture in there. See, that's the way I would do it. That texture. I'd see the circle and then texturize that circle inside, like say, okay, Boom, boom. It's a circle shape, but it's got all this texture, all these little leaves, all these little scribbles, but in that circle shape. And then the other shapes as it comes down. Bam in there. And again, it's squinting your eyes. It's kind of like getting the feel of it. Blind contour drawing, a great exercise. That's going to be one of them. That one's the hardest exercise of them all, but it really helps in observation and observing, learning to see, learning to see, learning to see. That's what you're doing. You're learning to see edges, learning to see space. That's why we break things down into quadrants so you can see the space, because that's the hardest thing when you're first learning to draw, is seeing the space. That's why when you draw people, I think everybody does it because I did it. You draw big, no forehead. Actually, you don't draw any forehead. And we have forehead. The eyes are in the middle of the head, face. But we draw these, we draw because it's empty space. Our brain doesn't really see it. So our brain really doesn't do a good job of seeing space or negative space. All right, there's this tree right in here, probably closer to the center, but I'm going to put it right in here, right about there. And then it comes up and curves up, and then it splits right in there. So there's that Y shape right in there. Bam, let's add that thickness to it. This is the main part, trunk of this Y shape right in there, see? And then one side's a little bit darker. So I'm pressing it a little bit darker. I'm not switching pencils, I promise. I'm just pressing a little harder. Pencil control. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Then other branches, secondary branches as it comes up. But you have the primary trunk. Then you've got the other branches as it comes up, and other trees. Actually, that's probably a part of another tree that's back here or lower, right on our center line. But notice we've got one quadrant just about done. I mean, and this is, I can do more scribbles in here and try to capture what I see a little bit more. And the scribbles can be part of shading, could be part of texture. Just like in here, it's all darker. Oh, and there's some clouds and mountains. It looks like I can do those as well if I really wanted to. Get a little bit of shade for the sky. Try to get it as smooth as I can. Yeah, because it's really smooth shading. Smooth shading, smooth sailing. Smooth sailing, take me away to where I. All right, here we go. That's it. That's a quadrant. We got 7 people hanging in there. There's 1/4 of our drawing done. Ooh, I don't know if we're gonna get to our man. Yeah, this got a lot of detail. See, I mean, blocking it in was really quick. It's all this detail. That's why they say the devil's in the details. It just takes a long time to get through them. There's all this. Let's see if I can speed it up. And you know what? I know many of you have a hard time keeping up. So how are we going to fix that problem? Because I know I see some of you got to come back to this. You really do. And then just really look at this area and focus on an area like this whole area in here. I would focus on this area and really see all the little details and try to get that to look as much as I can as the picture I am, not the one I'm drawing, because you're doing a copy of a copy. You want to try to draw the picture from the original. Go back in the video, look at the original. Yep. Yep. That's why when people post pictures, it's better if you post original pictures or something as closest to original. We had some, post pictures of a picture, which is great. But sometimes you when you're drawing a picture of a drawing, you start losing integrity, you start losing some of the structure. And if you don't know about the structure, makes it, or if the picture's blurry, you can start losing some of the structure and it doesn't look solid. You want solid drawing. Solid drawing. See, I'm just scribbling. It looks like this texture. It looks like a bunch of dots. Dots. And I'm just getting all those dots in there. All these branches. And I'm just gonna scribble.
Eladio,
Yes.
I get bored kind of with drawing details. So do you have any kind of advice?
Don't draw the details.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can get lost in the details, really. I mean, if you're just like looking and observing, you can reach a point where you do get lost in the details. And it's like, oh wow, it's like but if you're not, if it becomes a chore, then yeah, you want to just see the big shapes and you can simplify like all this stuff simplified. I mean, I'm just scribbling it in. Yeah. And if yeah, that's what I would do. Like here, I mean, this is the cabin, but there's logs in there that I missed. There's getting some of the logs. I can just do lines, but if I really want to get all the log cabins, I mean, there's like these little logs that go in there as well. And you have to, kind of weigh that. What do you want it to
Yeah.
look? What are you feeling? Because that is, if it's too hard, if it's too easy, you're gonna be bored. And if it's too monotonous too, if it's too like you don't see the big picture, you don't see the big picture, then it is boring. But if you see the big picture and you see, okay, this is what I want it to look like, and you're like putting each leaf and that kind of helps. So you do have to do self-regulate. That's what it is. Kind of like, okay, boom, this is, and then find drawings that you like, okay, this has too much detail, I'm going to skip it for right now. But don't run from it. Well, especially if it's a picture you like. Oh, I really like the way that is. I'm going to simplify it though, because then already all this detail is just like you're putting like a quilt together. You're just like a quilt, and it's just like just repetition, repeating. And it is, repetition is the mother of learning, but repetition is also the father of boredom, because it's just, it's like, okay, boom, boom, boom. But, it's finding that, and it is a fine line. But the thing is, just to keep producing, saying, okay, I'm getting bored with this. All right, I'm gonna just, and I'll even speed up, see how fast I can do this, right? I'm gonna do this really fast. Like, okay, I'm just gonna scribble like, all right, let's just do that. I'm gonna do that here. So I'm just gonna scribble all these branches in here and actually just put a shade in there. See,
Pretty good.
yeah, and then just, yeah, see, I can speed things up and okay, I'm getting bored with this. I'm gonna just shade all this in here. And just kind of just yeah, this is all just shading in here. Let's get rid of some of and just getting the feel of it. It looks like fire. It's all on fire, but I do want to keep that smoke in here though. I do want to keep that smoke. There's a chimney right here I just lost. Yeah, so you got to pick your battles and yeah, and you do want to pay attention to how you're feeling, and especially if you want to express yourself with your art. That's there's different kinds of drawing. It's not just find what you find interesting and then sometimes push yourself and like, okay, this is a little boring, but I'm gonna hang in there. Especially when you're learning, like, oh, I like this picture, I really wanted to try to capture it. All right, and then you should just see what I did right here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, boom. Enough of this detail. I want this smoke. This is what I want. I want this smoke, and I want that contrast. Right. So this is all value right here. This is value. Here's value. So I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna lighten this up right in here. I lost some of this smoke. So I'm gonna bring that smoke up in there. And then around it is you can't have light without dark. So around in here is the smoke as it comes up in there. And this all should be light. And then around it is dark. So I've got that smoke now, this smoke shape. And then I'm gonna darken up the outside. So just real quick, I can squint my eyes and get rid of a lot of the detail. And then see that smoke from that cabin now. And then I'm just trying to create contrast where I want my lights and darks to be, and if I need to put more branches or things.
Sometimes what I do, I just take a break and then
That
come back
helps.
to the picture, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Take a break. Yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Because your brain does get tired. It
Mm-hmm.
it's tired. It's not tiring. Yeah, taking breaks is a great solution. That's great. Yeah, put this video on pause and come back to it. Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, there's a saying, the brain can only handle what the seat can endure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which means yeah, you can only, and that's it's good for students. But you know, that's the thing with schools; they make you sit down for a long time, and it's hard. But yeah, it's and like here, see this roof? I want it to be lighter, and I can't have it lighter because this background here needs to be darker. So I'm just gonna put shade all in this area right in here, this whole shade area. Bring this whole shade back, pushing the shade back because our paper is really white. Our paper is really, really white. But now that I shaded this whole back here, this pops. This pops. Notice that smoke is popping. This is pushing that back. And I'm just really quickly just putting a shade in it. I'm not, I can scribble more leaves like that. Or look at it, I just did that. Didn't even worry about it. And I can just scribble. And I'm looking at the lights and the darks here. This is darker here. All this is darker here. And there. Bring up that darkness. Here, this is dark in here. Right through that hole. And this is all dark, and then that goes darker. Yeah, man, but the thing is, it just has a lot of detail. There's just so much detail. Yeah, you can get bored, or it can be fun. It can be like, oh wow, I'm doing this. It's like doing a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
It, yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful picture.
Yeah, it is a beautiful picture, and just imagine this framed because if you can see the big picture, if you can see like okay, it's coming along, if you can see this finish, then it keeps you excited. But if you don't see the journey, you don't see the like it's like you're going on a long trip and you don't know, oh, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Is this finished already? You know, you can say, you know, se puede desesperar, like you can say, or you can just get bored. You're like, oh, okay. Right. So, you know, yeah, you definitely have to navigate. You have to learn to, you know, go through or like, okay, take a break. That's excellent idea. Um, Scribble some of the details out, like it's too much detail, right? And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, because
Well,
joy,
thank you.
you're welcome. Yeah. Joy comes from, and that's great. You ask questions. That's awesome. That's how you learn. It's like, wow, you know, I'm having trouble with this and having trouble with that. And you even came up with your own solution. But joy comes from solving problems you want to solve, right? That's where joy comes from. You're like, wow, I got this. Oh, I'm trying to get this. This is what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get it to, I'm trying to get all the detail. I'm trying to get all the, wow, look, I got all the, you know, and that's where the joy comes from. But if you don't, you know, want to do that, then, you know, skip it. Skip it. Like, okay, it's all right. I like, you know, you saw how quickly we blocked it in. All right, that's all I'm practicing. I'm just practicing my blocking in. And right now we're doing all this detail. This is like the icing on the cake, you know, we're doing the more detailed stuff. What was important is the structure. That's what was important. And this is what we're just really just decorating and adding all this detail and all the shading and the lights and the darks, but the structure that was important. Even all these people here, all this rooster here, which is looks like it's gonna be fun. He's got a tail, and he's got the body. He's got the head, and then you know it's all really small here on my paper, but trying to capture the tail the way it root goes over. And there's that rooster. Bam. And it's just really quick. There's the rooster. And it depends on how much time you want to spend. I'm sure this artist spent a lot of time on this drawing. And I'm doing it really quick. And of course, I do draw fast too. So that's I don't know. I know I leave some people in the behind, or some people are catching up, or actually, I don't know. I don't know. Everybody's at a different level. You know, don't compare to despair. You just do the best you can until you know better. And all this detail. I'm not, you know, drawing people. All right, I'm just draw a little circle. I'm gonna draw almost a stick figure. If you draw a bubble person right here. It's got shoulders. I mean, this is really small. I mean, I don't know if I can compare it. I put a nickel right here. You can see a nickel covers up my drawing right in there. That's how small that is. There's a rooster. Look at it, covered up with a nickel. Right. So it's, I mean, this stuff's really small. And then here I can just do bubble people. You don't have to do all the details. Do bubble people. Here's a bubble kit. I already have that. Circle for the head, circle for the torso, which is the torso, a little dress or something, and little feet. Like a little feet right there. And little feet. See? I don't know. There's a lot, and this is again drawing people and drawing, but if you draw, you know, I don't know. I don't even have to worry. If you drawing anatomy, that's a whole other beast and a whole other thing. Her dress, the bottom part is dark. And then her feet too. She's got one foot here, then another foot. It should probably be lower. There it is. See, that's just scribble it in. It gets lost in there.
Well, I like the way you are drawing people. A small one, a small detail. That's very good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, see, and just scribble them in. Scribbling it. And see, here's that. Here's another hand. Here's another hand. And just see the body. That's it. It's not even. And see, there's the head. It's almost like the scribble drawing. That's the exercise, our first exercise. I'm going to be doing more of these scribble drawings. See, that's where that helps. I'm just scribbling them in, just getting the little silhouette, almost silhouette, like the plants we did today earlier. And then see like this man here too. There's his head. Here's his body. Here's one leg out this way, and this is like the scribble drawing. This is what this is. See, here's the other body. Trying to get that and then he's got the gun that way, and then I can adjust him or fix him up, or you know he's got like a little bit of a jacket on there, maybe a little foot or shadow where he's standing, and this other kid over here, and then the horse. The horse, yeah. If you don't want to draw the horse, just draw it as a silhouette as well. There's the head, there's the whole body, and then the legs. The legs on the horse is really what we got. One leg up, forward. Let me see. And then we got this other back here. Yeah, these legs on the horse. And the head. You can see the head in the drawing, but I'm just going to shade it all in. It kind of looks like a donkey, but it's okay. It's just a sketch. If you really wanted to study, you can study horses and just take your time and draw a whole horse on its own. This whole kind of scribble little drawing, which is smaller than a nickel, it is what it is. I mean, it looks like we need to bring this a little bigger, or even bring the head a little more forward. But no, it's okay. Nobody's gonna, yeah. And if you messed up here, just scribble all over it. Boom, boom, boom. Blend it in. Try to blend it in. There's another person right in here. I'm not even looking to see. It's just scribbles. No detail. Another kid right here. Yeah, see.
I love it.
Great. See, and it looks like from a distance, it looks like something, but
Mm-hmm.
it's
It's
just
beautiful.
a door right here. And here we go. Put all these logs. Yeah, now I'm just, yeah. Shade. What else? Yeah, and just looking at lights and darks, there's rocks and all kinds of other stuff. And this is where you would get lost. I mean, this is like a Zentangle, right? All this detail, this Zentangle. Look them up, make these Zentangles, and that's what the Zen is. You get lost in the flow. You're just wow, you're just doing this. You'll recognize if you are getting bored, maybe, yeah, like you said, great idea. Put it to the side. Come back to it with a fresh eye. When you come back with a fresh eye, then you're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, bam. Look there's a barrel right here. I want to get this barrel. Or find another picture and you got to find like, oh, I really like this drawing. Oh, I got to do more like these. I got to do more like these. You got to find ones that you like. And this barrel right in here. And like doing that form. And I understand form too. This is a cylinder. It's rounded. It's a rounded cylinder. And it's got shade on this. The light again, like I said, is from the left. So the shadow's on the right. There's shadow on the right. See? Shadow on the right, a little bit of shadow. And then here on the inside, the shadow's on the left because the barrel's open. Oh, and then yeah, the shadows, the light's coming from the left, so there's shadows on the right. The shadow knows where the light's coming from. Then the tree back in here, in front of the, see, I can put this in front of the cabin. And a window right in here somewhere. But yeah, the thing is just to practice, 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 and don't worry about perfection. Just kind of go with it and say, okay, I'm getting a little bored. And that's okay. You're in touch with your feelings. A lot of people are not. Some people don't know there's a difference between thinking and feeling. And there's a difference between what you think and what you feel, and expressing what you feel and expressing what you're thinking. And that's true art. When it comes to art, there's no right or wrong because it's what you're thinking, it's what you're feeling. It might not be expressing exactly what you want, but it's what you are thinking and feeling. Nobody can say what you're thinking or feeling because it's what you are thinking and feeling, not somebody else. It's like, oh, this makes me feel this. Oh, I really like, damn, I really like this. And I really like, let me just shade all this in here. Yeah, right there. And that's it. Ta-da. Voila.
It looks beautiful. Good
Thank you.
job.
Thank you. Gracias. There we go. I can put some more shading in there if I wanted to. That's it. All right. Thank you.
Can
All
you put
right.
it
All right.
closer to the camera for a moment?
Yeah. Let's zoom in. I don't know which part in particular or
Yeah, that.
yeah, and I can put more detail like yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening in here with the logs and stuff like that. But the good thing was just getting the whole thing blocked in and say, okay, I'm good. I'm happy with it. All right, next, and go on to the next one because what's more important is that you're drawing a lot. You got to draw a lot to get good. You have to draw a lot. But all this detail, all this stuff, if you get bored, just leave it. What we did, the important thing was blocking everything in. All the shading, all that stuff, that's just like the icing on the cake. We want to get good at baking the cake first, right? Because then once you get good at baking the cake, then you want to put some really good icing on it. You really want to make it like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make this one. I'm gonna put the icing on this one, and that'll get you through. That'll get you through, because then you're like, oh wow, this drawing is good. I'm gonna, add, more. Well, I'm gonna put a little bit of red icing over here. I'm gonna put a little bit of, all the little detail, which is the icing on the cake. You don't need it, but it's what makes it look good, right? It's the icing. That's what you see. All right, that's it and the lesson. All right, one more drawing. We're going to do a portrait next. Be on the lookout for it.